Hi y'all! Thanks so much for being here this morning. If this is your first time here, then welcome. My name is Lori, and I'm so glad to see you here this morning. A couple of weeks ago, I made a video about my weekly cleaning routine, and I had so many of you reach out to me and tell me, hey Lori, I'm doing all the things, but my house is still a mess. Like, my house is still really messy, and I can't figure out why. Like, I'm spending the time and I'm doing the things, but it's just not coming together. And let me tell you, I know why your house is still a mess, and by the end of this video, you're gonna know why your house is still a mess as well, and exactly what to do to fix that so you don't have to look at that mess anymore. Let's get started. So my first thought, that probably doesn't need to be said, but maybe needs to be said, who knows? I don't know, so I'm just gonna say it, is, are you really picking up and cleaning the house, or do you just think you're picking up and cleaning the house? Like, do you take things and pick them up and move them from one place to another, but never really find a home for them or put them away? Because I did that for years and years and years. Like, it took me a long time to get to the point where I am today. So the thing you need to ask yourself is, if you are cleaning, if you are taking the time to pick up and clean and do things, even if it's just for a few minutes a day, because really you can accomplish so much in just a few minutes a day. But if you are taking that time and you are spending those few minutes a day doing these things, and you feel like your house is still a mess, the thing I want you to ask yourself, and actually pause before you answer, is this: do you actually have an organizational system? Because if you do, and you're working that system and your house is still a mess, then your system is failing you. And there are a couple of reasons why organizational systems fail, and we'll get into some of the other reasons today, because today I want to talk about number one reason why organizational systems fail is that you are missing contained drop zones. You have drop zones. I promise you, everybody has drop zones in your vehicle, at your workstation, in your office, in your home. I promise you, you have drop zones. But what you're missing in those drop zones is something to contain all the stuff you drop. Now for me, in my home, in order to keep my organization systems on track, I have three main drop zones. And here is the first one. If you're coming in from the garage, you're walking through this little hallway here, and this is the first thing you see. Now if you're coming in through the front door, you find yourself in the exact same spot. This is our walking through the door, first steps into our house drop zone. And that's exactly why this table is here, so that we could utilize this space as a drop zone. But let me show you what makes the drop zone work. It's simply this little bowl. Like, this is a ring light for my phone, an umbrella, sunglasses, keys, and some headphones. That's the main things that are in the bowl. But before the bowl was here, you could see that. So without the bowl, the drop zone is still the drop zone, but it looks messy, because it is messy. It's chaotic. Nothing is contained. It's just a bunch of crap thrown on the table. But everything changes when you put that same crap in a container. And I chose a wooden bowl. Now my sister-in-law has the same type of drop zone in her house. She has a glass bowl. It's absolutely beautiful. But at my house, we are not careful people, so a glass bowl was not ideal, because I promise you it wouldn't take long till we broke that. So a nice wooden bowl is what I chose for our drop zone. We call this our key bowl, and as you can see, it holds a lot more than keys. But what it does is it takes that mess of a space and contains the mess to a little bit of organized chaos. So the way that helps me is that when I come in through the garage, or if I come in through the front door, the first space I see is not a chaotic mess. It's controlled chaos. But it serves another function that really helps me stay organized in my world, and that's helping me to organize my time. I know exactly where my keys are when I go to leave the house. Every single time. I don't lose my keys, and I don't spend any time looking for my keys, because I know they're right there in that bowl. So for me, in my home with my family, that is an incredibly important drop zone. And it's important for me to contain that chaos so it doesn't look so chaotic. It looks nice and neat regardless of what's in the bowl. Now, once we've come through the door, we almost always make a stop at the kitchen island. Y'all saw most of the house in my cleaning routine when I did my cleaning routine video. If you haven't seen that one, I'm gonna link it here so you can check that out. But my main living space in my home is a very open living space. And what this means is that in our normal traffic pattern of our home, after we've walked past that key bowl, we are generally walking up to the kitchen island with whatever we have in our hands. And what that means is that that created a second drop zone in our home. Let's check out that one. So we've dropped our keys, sunglasses, earbuds, umbrella, that kind of stuff here. And so when we're carrying stuff in our hands, we generally lay it right here. regardless of where that stuff is going to end up in our home, it almost always stops and takes a little break right here on the kitchen island. So it was important to me to create a drop zone on the island, and like any other drop zone, it needs to be contained. And that's where the basket came in. So when we walk in the house and we have a bunch of stuff in our hands, we just take it and drop it right here in our basket. That keeps the island clear, and that makes it look so much cleaner and neater. If we had all the stuff we bring into our house and also take out of our house spread out on the island as we're coming and going, this would be a chaotic, cluttered mess. But keeping it contained here in a basket makes it nice and neat, and it makes it look so much cleaner in the house. Because my house has such an open concept, you can see the kitchen island from the living room, from the breakfast room, from all over, like almost the whole downstairs. And it's even open upstairs. Because I can see the island space so clearly from, most of the house, it's important to me that it looks nice and neat. Clutter makes me feel anxious, and I don't like anxiety or feeling anxious. And so I've got to contain that clutter, and the basket works. But the basket also serves a super convenient second purpose. When it's time to take this stuff and put it away where it goes, I can just pick up the basket and take this stuff to put it away where it goes, and then place the basket back on the island. Now, these two drop zones work incredibly well for my family, but I can be a little messy sometimes. So I have another drop zone, a third drop zone in the house that is incredibly important just for me. Let's show you that. And here we are one more time in my closet. I love filming in my closet. I know this is one of my favorite parts of my house, which is why I have this space as a drop zone. Now, all of this is like the stuff I use to get ready every day, like my perfume and lotions and potions and all that good stuff. Even sunscreen, because it's just part of my getting dressed routine. I wear sunscreen every day. I'm the only one that uses this drop zone. Let me tell you why it's so important to me. I like to change my bag every day. Every day. Like, I don't like to carry the same purse 2 days in a row. I don't know why. I've told y'all before, I can be a little dramatic. I guess I have a little bit of purse drama flair to me. Now, I, like every other person that carries a bag every day, have my bag essentials that I carry around in my bag. And so those are the things that I change from one bag to another day after day after day. But unless I'm traveling and working from a planned wardrobe, I don't know today what bag I'm carrying tomorrow. Which means when I put my bag up today, I've got all my essentials that have to go somewhere until I figure out what bag I'm carrying tomorrow. And they used to just hang out right here in this space where I would get ready every day. And it was so messy. Like, it was so messy. It drove me crazy. So I knew what I needed was a way to contain my chaos. Contain all the things I want to switch from one bag to another every day in a way that works and makes sense. And that's it. That navy blue basket is what works for me. So that's my personal drop zone in the house. Nobody uses this one but me, obviously. But it allows me to switch my bag from one bag to another really quickly, very easily, and not make my space look messy in the process, because I live my real life right here. A lot of it right here in this closet, it seems, huh? And I don't want the space I live my life in to feel messy and chaotic. So I know you have these drop zones. Everybody has these drop zones. But if you're missing these containment pieces in those drop zones, then that is very likely why your house still looks messy, even though you're doing the work, even though you're putting in the time to try to keep up with it. So if you're taking the time to clean up, to pick up all the things, and you're doing all the things, and your house still looks messy, find your drop zones. I promise you, you've got them in your space already. Whether you've identified them as drop zones or not is irrelevant. You've got them. Find them. And once you find your drop zones and you know where they are, place a container there to corral all the clutter, all the things that we carry in and out of our everyday lives. And see if that doesn't help your house to feel just a little less messy. Now, here's a quick bonus tip for you. We all can do this, and we all need to do this a little bit more often than what we really do. And that is to make decluttering a regular part of how you move through your day, of how you move through your life. Now, y'all have seen me go through my closet, declutter my closet. I think y'all hung out with me when I decluttered my laundry room, my utility room as well. And that's all good and fine. There's nothing wrong with making an event out of your decluttering process, because I need that on a regular basis. Most of us need that on a regular basis. But a great way to keep up with it, almost even more effectively, is to declutter. If you could just declutter one thing from a space every day, you would be amazed at how much neater and organized your space feels at just the end of the week. And if it feels that great at the end of a week, imagine how much better it's going to feel at the end of 2 weeks or, 3 months from now. If you see something in your organizational system and you think, 1, I don't know what that is, or 2, I don't know when the last time I've used it, and 3, I don't know when I'm going to use it again, I might use it again, get rid of it. Just take the thing and get rid of it. You'll be glad you did. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for a few minutes. I love to hear how other people organize and contain things in their spaces. So drop down into the comments and tell me, what do you do to organize things or contain things in your own space? Or if you have questions about what maybe you should do or could do, let me know. Drop down into the comments, ask those questions. I love to hang out there. If you've enjoyed your few minutes here with me this morning, maybe you want to subscribe to the channel. We can hang out more often from time to time. If not, that's okay too. Just know this, you have an open invitation to come back and hang out anytime you like. Until I see you in the next video. Bye y'all.